Shalom, Rabbi Elias.
Shalom. Hi, Ellen. How are
How
you?
are you? I'm doing what I can. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to see
Good.
you again. Rabbi Nancy is officiating at a life cycle event this evening, so she
Ah,
asked me to step in.
oh, there's Bella. Is that Bella behind you?
That's Bella. She decided Bella likes the
She's.
new placement of the cat bed. Normally, she'd be hiding under the couch at this time.
Yeah.
She's decided to join us for the Maariv.
Okay. Shalom, Bella.
She says shalom. Hi,
My
Sudar.
cat. Okay. Tanuki knows the music, and if you change it, she knows it.
Oh,
Especially Friday night, because Friday night she knows it's a
I
riot. Once Rabbi Steve was doing Yisker, well, she picked up and said, "What's going?" With her eyes, "What's going on here? This is not what we're supposed to do tonight."
wow.
It was so funny.
Listen to that. Like, Marvin's here. Hi, Reba.
Hey,
How are you?
good.
It's nice to
We
see.
Shalom,
had
Reba.
thunderstorms last night.
Oh, in Japan?
Yes.
That's funny because last week when I was leaving LA rarely gets thunderstorms, and we were in a thunderstorm watch
Oh,
on the
wow.
other side of the Pacific. Isn't that funny? Wow.
Hmm.
Hi, Sue.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Just got in from the grocery store, so made it just in time.
Nice timing.
Good, yeah.
And there's Marvin. Hi, Marvin Gruber. I like your kippah. It matches your sweater. It's very cool. Mine does too. I like the white print that says Shema Yisrael. It really pops when I wear a white shirt. So I appreciate you also thinking likewise, Marvin. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay. Let me see. Erev Tov. Shall we begin? Let's do
Yes.
this. Where is this one? Okay. Let me make this full screen so we don't have to see that top part. We have more people. Yay. Welcome, Ellen Friedman. Welcome to the Maariv service on the 12th of Elul, 5782. This is Sim Shalom Online Synagogue. I'm Rabbi Elias Wang, and we're here to acknowledge the turning of the earth at the end of one day, the beginning of another day. And we are here to do that together in a Maariv service. So let's go. Yalla. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. Oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. Or as the Rav Nachman of Breslov put it, let the good in me connect with the good in others until all the world is transformed through the compelling power of love. I also just noticed we have been joined by Sephora. Hi, Sephora. Welcome to the Maariv.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hold on, let me change my view so I can see everybody, not just the...
Hi.
Hi, and then we also have Ellen Friedman is here, and Rabbi Sherry's here. Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
How are you?
Just trying to wake up.
Well, let's wake up.
Hi, Rabbi Elias. Hi, Rabbi Sherry.
Hi.
Ellen. How are you feeling, Ellen?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing much better. I got a little bit of a reaction to my second monkeypox vaccine.
Oh my.
Apparently, 99.7% of people get a redness around the injection site and a little swelling and hardness. So it's not just, it's apparently what happens. So,
Oh my.
I'm very lucky. I feel blessed. Everyone, this is Bella sleeping right here. She's joining us this evening for the
It's very adorable.
Bella was born under the train tracks in the town where I was growing up. And we found her at an adoption day, and my sister picked her out. It was the kitten that was hiding in the back, that wouldn't play, that wouldn't come out, I wouldn't say hello. She was terrified. My sister, being the empathetic, loving person that she is, says, I choose that kitty. And so it took a long time, many years of her being terrified and of hiding before she turns into the loving, happy, sleepy kitty you see.
Oh,
And she is now 14 years old.
Wow.
Very Jewish story of survival,
oh yeah.
Very Jewish, very loving.
right? So
Right.
now she's here at the Maariv with us on the same planet that's turning the same way. So we continue.
Hmm.
The Baruch Hu. Would anyone like to lead us in the Baruch Hu temple? Let's see, firsthand.
I wish I knew how to do it properly. I would if I could.
Well, let me tell you a secret. There's actually only one rule that really matters, which is what Rabbi Blaine told me, which is when you're about to read the Torah, that's when you do the one that everyone knows, which is Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach. That's only during a Torah service when you're about to read from the Torah. At any other time, you can do it however you want, including that way if you so want. But that's when we, during the Maariv, that's when you get to have a little fun.
Yeah.
Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. I think that's one of the conservative niggunim.
Oh.
A lot of different ones.
How about Craig Taubman?
What's his?
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Leolam vaed. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach.
Bravo and Amen.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Did
Is
I
that Sephardic? Is that
No,
Sephardic?
it's Friday Night Live. It's Craig Taubman's album for Friday night.
Uh-huh.
Craig Taubman, he's also the melody I use for Hashkivenu that we all use most of the time. He was actually the music director at Camp Ramah when I was a little kid, when I went there. And that's part of what got me so excited about his album called My Jewish Discovery, and then My Newish Jewish Discovery, which was kids' music. It was everything for me growing up. Absolutely everything.
He had services in Hollywood, and all of these people, including very famous people, would come out. They'd have 200 or 300 people for a Friday night Shabbat service. It was unbelievable.
He's a showman. He puts on a show. When I was little, he also did a concert when they opened Toontown at Disneyland in LA. He was there at the opening. They hired him to do like a non-Jewish, but just like an entertainment thing. Man can put on a show, and he can daven too. Quite a talent. We continue. Would anyone like to read the English version of the Maariv Arivim? I would
Yeah.
like to see. Ellen, yes, please. Go for it.
Okay. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose words create the mysterious time of dusk, filling the world with possibilities. In wisdom, you open heaven's gates, and with understanding, you change times and vary seasons and arrange the stars in the heavens according to your will. Creator of day and night and the trembling in between time, who spreads out light before darkness and darkness before light, who creates day and brings forth night, who separates day from night, who arrays the whole earth with glory. Holy is your name. Blessed are you for the creations that happen every day. Baruch atah Adonai Maariv Aravim.
Amen. We can all say Amen after all together. Amen.
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 My Granny Franny just arrived. I want to say hi, Granny Franny. Hi, Granny. I'm not sure you can see us or hear us yet, but when you come here, I want to say hi. So let's continue. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Etanu omareta, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochbenu u'fkumenu, Nisiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי ימם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Continue. Did I skip? No. Please read responsively with me in the text on the right side of the page. In the stories of our past,
You are
Are
revealed.
revealed.
the laws you gave at Mount Sinai,
You are revealed.
and the questions that we ask and the answers that we might find,
You are
You are
revealed.
You are
revealed.
revealed.
in the light that burns off fog, and in the darkness that swallows grief,
You are
revealed.
revealed.
in my questing, doubts and fear, and in the joy of dreams come true,
You are revealed.
in all the blessings that surround us, those seen and unseen.
You are revealed.
revealed.
You are revealed.
Blessed are you for opening our senses to all your revelations.
Amen.
Live in the glow
Amen.
of the heart. You live in the pain and the joy of life. You live when we choose life and blessing. You live in the still small voice of conscience. You live in our unending search for truth. You live in our breath. We unite and call you one. Together we say in Hebrew at the bottom of the page,
Baruch
Baruch
atah
atah Adonai
Adonai
Elohim
Amo
Amo
Yisrael.
Yisrael.
blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel, and I suspect everyone else too. Time for the Shema. I would like to ask Mr. Marvin Gruber, would you like to lead us in the Shema tonight? Thank you.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel, Adonai our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem, Kavod, Malakuso, Leolam Voed. Blessed is the glorious name forever and ever.
Amen. For those of you who are learning Hebrew, you'll hear that Marvin said Malchuso, not Malchuto. It's because
Right.
the Yiddish way of speaking and the Yiddish way of the Ashkenazi way of reading Hebrew is to say is to change the taf at the end to a samech, is to read it with an S. And my grandparents spoke like that. It's
That's what I was taught when I went to Hebrew school.
I was, I think, one of the
Many
second or
moons
third
ago.
generation to not be taught. I was taught the modern Israeli version, and that's really the difference. Is that the state of Israel became a place at some point, and this is how they say it now. It's not just the Ashkenazi dialect. So it's interesting. You can hear in the difference of how Marvin and I pronounce Malchuto or Malchuso. You can hear the existence.
Well, I'm Ashkenazi. My family's from East. My grandparents are from Eastern Europe.
I imagine so.
Oh. Interesting.
Cool. Well, here we are. Moving on. I would like to ask Rabbi Sherry, would you lead us in the Ve'ahavta, please?
Sure, maybe my voice is up now, so. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'vetecha u'lektecha v'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהים, אני Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And before we continue with the final phrase, I would like to invite someone to read the English version for us this evening. Let me see from her. Does anyone want to volunteer?
I can
that.
read.
Yes,
Yep.
please. Go for it.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Then you will remember and observe all my mitzvot, and be holy before your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, who is truth.
And we can repeat the Englishly written, but the Hebrew phrase at the end all together. Adonai.
Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
Continue now. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha neder b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele. Nora tehilot osef ele. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, and working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Together we say the phrase in Hebrew, Baruch
Baruch
Adonai
Adonai.
Yisrael.
Continue now with the Hashkivenu. Thank you, Craig Tal. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufrosh aleinu sukat shlomecha ushmot zetenu uvoenu. Baruch ata Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Do I have a volunteer who would please read the Hashkivenu translation down here in English for us? Let's see.
I'll do it, Rebbe.
Oh, please, go for it, Ellen.
Let us lie down in peace, Adonai, and we will arise with strength and clear vision. Shelter us under your wings, guide us with your wisdom, and for the sake of your world, help us work for peace throughout justice. Then hatred and plague and war and famine and sorrow will disappear from this earth. Blessed are you, our comfort and shield, whose Sukkot Shalom, shelter of peace, spreads over us, over all Israel, over Jerusalem, and the earth made whole.
Hey, beautifully read. Thank you, Ellen. We continue now with the Chatzi Kaddish. Now, you all like, I like a big, robust Chatzi Kaddish. So I apologize if you need to mute, but I would like all of us, if you want to unmute and sing out loud. If you need to mute it, so you can. Let's do the Chatzi Kaddish together. Ready? Yikada Hashem
Ishmael Barak Ishtabah Brihu Leila Michodechata Amen.
Nice. Now we have reached the Amidah, the standing prayer. We're standing at the gates of our holy city, our capital, the place where we became a people and where every day we return and remember the steps that took us on the path to where we are now. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let the strength of this community and the strength of our ancestors give us the strength to search for our path back to the Blessed One. Together we can say in Hebrew, Adonai Sephatai Tiftach Baruch Atah Eloheinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel El Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chased Elohim V'Konei Hakol Zocher Hasdei Avot Imachot V'Kelola Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Mashiach Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai V'chaya Kol Atah Rav Lehoshia Orid Atal for 4 weeks Mechakel Chaim V'Chesed Mechayev HaKol Berachamim Somek Noli Veloni Umatir Asurim Umekayev Unato Ishenei Afar Michamot Umidom Elah Melech Lechayev Umatzmiach Yeshua Ne'eman Atal Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol. Also, welcome to Sharon Jaffe. Would anyone like to read the English translation to us? Volunteers? Granny Franny has left the chat. It's okay. Let me go ahead and read this. Your strength is forever, Adonai. You give life all things. You, the great Savior, you rain dew upon us in summer. You sustain life with kindness, with great compassion. You give life to all. You lift up the fallen. You heal the sick. You free the captives. You keep trust with those who sleep in the dirt. Who is like you, source of light? And who looks like you, the one who causes death and life and salvation to root? Who is like you, source of mercy? In compassion you sustain the life of your children, and faithful are you who brings life to everything. Blessed are you who brings life to everything. It's time for a silent prayer. We invite each other to take a big, deep breath and think of the words of your prayer coming directly from your heart, going straight up to God, and not being mattering what the words themselves are, but rather, as the Rav Nachman put it, the burning desire of your heart. Let it rise like smoke towards heaven. Continue now with Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav
Oh,
al Yisrael
Amcha.
Asim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lekol hashalom. בטוב ונך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך ברוך אתה אדוני מבורך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Hey, we have reached the point of our service where we can talk about the Torah a little bit. And this is a very interesting Devar Torah, the very interesting Parsha we have, Kitetse, and I would like to take you on a little journey directly through Kitetse, because this is one of those parshot that is often misquoted or quoted in such a way where it makes it seem like things that have nothing to do with morality whatsoever are suddenly worthy of being stoned to death, and things that are horrible and awful have no repercussions at all. And yet, if we read between the lines, we can see the evolution of our Jewish soul, of our morality that came about through the process of the Torah becoming the Torah. So, I'm sharing the screen now. Ki Teitze. So, let's just go through line by line for a few bits and see where we go. When you, an Israelite warrior, take the field against your enemies, and your God delivers them into your power, and you take some of them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire her, and would take her into your household as your wife, you shall bring her into your household, and she shall trim her hair, pair her nails, and discard her captive's garb. She shall spend 1 month's time in your household, lamenting her father and her mother. After that, you may come to her and thus become her husband, and she shall be your wife. Okay, so we get a 1 month break from unconsensual sex between a man and a woman that he bought. We now have a 1 month break for the woman. This is a good thing. Okay. Then, should you no longer want her, you must release her outright. You must not sell her for money. Since you had your will of her, you must not enslave her. Okay? So here we go, back to the woman is property. Well, there we go. If a householder has 2 wives, one loved and the other unloved, this one goes on forever, but it's basically about it doesn't matter how you feel about your wife. You have to give your firstborn son everything, and the women don't matter. Okay, so there we go, back to women are property. If a householder has a wayward and defiant son who does not heed his father or mother and does not obey them, even after they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the town. At the public place of his community, they shall say to the elders of the town, this son of ours is disloyal and defiant, and he does not heed us. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Thereupon his town's council shall stone him to death. Thus we will sweep out evil from your midst. All Israel will hear and be afraid. So we now know that there are better treatments for overeating and for alcoholism than stoning to death. We know that now, having survived 2,000 years. We did not know that at the time. We can give ourselves a pass. If any party is guilty of a capital offense and is put to death, and you impale the body on a stake, you must not let the corpse remain on the stake overnight. You must bury it the same day. For an impaled body is an affront to God. You shall not defile the land that your God, Adonai, is giving to you to possess. So it is not the fact that we're stoning people to death for being normal humans that's abhorrent. It is that we have impaled them and left them overnight, because that is the abhorrent thing. Okay, so we have a little bit of a hygiene thing amidst a moral dilemma. If you see your fellow Israelites' ox or sheep gone astray, do not ignore it. You must take it back to your peer. Okay, we got moral order. If your fellow Israelite does not live near you and you do not know who the owner is, you shall bring it home and it shall remain with you until your peer claims it. Then you shall give it back. Okay, so honesty matters. That's good. You shall do that with everything else that person owns. This is what you must do. Oh, and here we go. A woman must not put on man's apparel, nor shall a man wear woman's clothing, for whoever does these things is abhorrent to your God. The same, quote unquote, abhorrence as a body remaining on a pike overnight when you really should have buried the thing. So here we go. I've heard many a I'm not going to name a particular religion, but I've heard many regressive people in authority of spiritual organizations who point to this passage to say why their particular point in a culture war is correct. I might notice that they have not held themselves accountable to any of the other ones I've read so far, especially I do not believe if they've ever encountered drunkards or alcoholic or gluttons, that they have not recommended that this person be taken before a court by their mother and father and be stoned to death. But such is life. We see the picking and choosing. And then we keep going. If you along the road, you chance upon a bird's nest or any tree or on the ground with fledglings or eggs, and the mother sitting over the fledglings or the eggs, do not take the mother together with her young. Let the mother go and take only the young in order that you may fare well and have a long life. Okay, here we are, back to some old version of our morality. When you build a new house, you shall make a parapet for your roof so that you will not bring blood guilt into your house if anyone should fall from it. Okay, we got some OSHA violation responses here. You shall not sow your vineyard with a second kind of seed, else the crop from the seed you have sown and the yield of the vineyard may not be used. You shall not plow this way. You shall not wear clothes combining wool and linen. You have all these different things that are making their way into our morality and into our moral code that, we don't know if they all necessarily were obeyed. But at one time, we thought every single one of these things was a good idea. And now we don't. And it doesn't mean that we're bad Jews. It doesn't mean that these are the same utterances that Hashem uttered to us at Mount Sinai, the first 10. We do have 613 quote unquote utterances or commandments. But I think the God that made us the nation of Israel, the nation designed to wrestle with God, we are not going to just obey for the sake of obeying. If you have a historical perspective, if you have any kind of ethical Jewish background about how we were received the Torah, we know that these are not literal statements from God himself, but rather interpreted through very flawed Jews. And that's my little devar on a sermon, on a parsha that a lot of people try to avoid, like the plague.
Yeah, sure, koach.
Thank you.
Yeah. That I told a story in my Torah study group last week that I had to do this with a 12-year-old boy, and I read it and I said to my wife, how in the world am I possibly going to find, and we were free to pick and choose. What is he going to chant? He loved the part about the bird. We did it, the mother bird not being there when the baby birds were taken. But it was quite a challenge to find something. And I was in an Orthodox group called Partners in Torah I was introduced from my cousin. It's a Young Israel organization. And I said to my partner, how do we live with this? And she said, look at all the stuff about the son. She said, how could the son possibly fulfill all of those evil things to ever really get to the point of being stoned? It's set up so it's almost impossible to ever happen.
It's true. If we read it very carefully, the extent to which you have to be a drunkard and a glutton is so extreme, it's very unlikely to ever happen. That is absolutely a good argument I've heard. Susan, did you?
Our rabbi and my brick and mortar said in all of history, there has never been a child taken out and stoned. It was just one of those things that maybe it was kind of a deterrent. If a child read that, maybe they behaved a little bit better. But, it's like the rabbi said, well, if people took that seriously, he wouldn't even exist probably. How many of us have ever lipped off at our parents,
And what my mother used, I think about that now, whenever we would drive by the exit on the highway for the juvenile detentional facility in our county, my mother would remind us that it is because she loves us that she doesn't send us there. But if we should be so bad, that's her version of the same thing. You're absolutely, she would never do that, but maybe it's not so bad if the kids believe that she would. Maybe this was a little bit of a parent handbook at the same time. We see all of these different reasons why rules might have been needed, not because they needed to be followed, but because of a lot of other reasons. That's interesting. Thank you, Sue. Did anyone else want to make a comment? Okay.
About cross-dressing.
I'm sorry, Ellen?
Gender, clothing doesn't have a gender.
I know, of course.
So how can we cross dress? Lots of men wear women's clothing, and women wear quote pants, and men wear gowns and
Exactly.
long dresses, and some dress in that female clothing and gender non-conforming, and
You see it all the time. The people who
all the
like
time.
to refer to this are only saying so when there's a
Been
man
back in the
and a
time
woman.
of Moshe.
I know it's amazing, but it's also, you really understand how important those gender roles were to these ancient Israelites. You understand that, you know, controlling what was a man and what was a woman is a legal issue, and it's a property issue. There's a huge amount of difference between the rights a man has and a woman has,
Mhm.
and there's a huge difference in the childhood between a girl and a boy. So I imagine that they had a lot of parents who thought just like us and happened to get a girl, a daughter, and they said, I don't want to raise a second-class citizen. I'm going to raise my child. And it would have been an easy sneak in to raise her as a boy, I think. And they were trying to say, nope, you have a woman, you have to treat her like second-class citizen.
That's the plot to Yentl, right?
Right.
Yeah.
One of my tricks. Oh,
Exactly right, Rabbi.
Yes. Baruch Hashem for Barbara Streisand.
I love Barbara
She's like our
Streisand.
mascot here.
Yes.
She's like, yes. Anyway, we continue with the Maariv service. Here we are with the Kaddish Shalom. Please go along with me if you like. Ikra v'ikra shemera ba b'yom ha'yivach yotei v'yom lichmachotei b'chaychon v'yom echon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agalav yizban kari v'imeru.
Amen.
Amar Rabba min shamayim v'chayim aleinu excuse me. Yehesh shama Rabba mevorach leolam ulmaya ula alama. Excuse me, I don't know what happened. Ikra v'ikra shemera. Yitbarach v'yitma'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemet kucha brichu tush b'chata v'yitad de'amam v'yimach v'yiru amen tikabel
Amen.
tzitenu de'kol Yisrael kadem abu
Amen.
v'rimuru amen yesh lama rabba min shamayim v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen
Amen.
shalom b'bomav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Look who survived that. Okay, we're going. On behalf of the sick, we've reached the Misha Berach. We are sending our healing energy out to all of those who need. We are grateful, O God, for the gift of life and for the healing powers you have implanted within your creatures. Sustain our loved one through these days of illness with the courage and fortitude they need to endure weakness and pain. Help us to find ways to show our love for them so that we may be an influence for good in their lives, in their time of need. And may all who suffer illness of body or of mind know that you are with them, giving them strength of spirit as they struggle to recover. May their afflictions soon be ended, and may they return in health to family and friends. Before we say the prayer, I would like to go around the Zoom and ask those in attendance if they would like to name the names of those they're sending healing energy to. Hi, Granny Franny.
I'm sorry, I got
Oh, it's absolutely fine. How are you?
real quick.
Okay, good. Do you want to send some healing energy to anybody tonight?
So my energy is used towards moving. I'm tired.
Yes. You're in the process of moving, of putting everything in boxes.
Can't do it. I can't
and
do it.
living in the
Old.
uncertainty of all of that going on, when you need to rely on so many other people to get so many things done. It's a big deal, especially for someone like my Granny Franny, who is used to doing for herself.
And it was 87 years young now. I can't do it.
Oh, God bless you.
So when my granny needs to ask for help, it is an existential crisis, because in her mind, she should be able to do absolutely
You're
everything.
right.
You see, you agree with me.
But I do. Very frustrating.
Well, I want you to know how much I admire you, Granny. And do you have anyone who wants some healing energy? Let's send some healing energy to you, some restful energy to my Granny Franny so that she can get through her move. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Now we will continue. Ellen in New York, do you and Tinoki have anyone on your list?
Yes, thank you. All those who are suffering physically and emotionally all around the world. Alexandra Bat Aurora, Lenny bin Alexandra, Rabbi Galit, Harry Ben Betty, Ola Bat Sylvia, all those on Zoom tonight. I wish them a refuah shlema. And Tova, Barbara, Amy, Beth, Fiona, and her husband Tom. Thank you. Toda rabah.
Toda. Thank you, Ellen. Marvin Gruber.
Mary Larkin, my pet groomer, and Queenie, my cat.
Thank you. How's Queenie doing? She's still sick?
I think she feels better.
Okay, good. You know, why does she never come to services?
I don't know. She prefers to lay in my bed.
Okay, fair enough. You know, Bella has a bed for services. Just so you know. Your cat could be a little more observant, just saying. But we wish her a refuah shlema. Rabbi Sherry Joy Berman, do you have anyone on your list?
Yes, my wife Aliyah Leah Batzara, and Rabbi Allison's daughter, who has been going through a lot, Jennifer Mary Cooper.
You send healing energy to them. Thank you. Sue Bowers in Florida, do you have anyone you want to send to? You're muted, Sue.
There we go. I got Dorothy, Mark, Marlene, Jean, and Mary.
Thank you, Sue. Reba in Japan, do you have anyone for the list?
No names, thanks.
Thank you. Sharon Jaffe.
My dad, Ephraim Ben Usher, my mom, Georgette, my friend Christina and her mom, my husband, Stephen, Ronnie, Carrie, Eric, Gabe, everyone on Sim Shalom, Ellen, Queenie, Marvin, Rabbi Galit, Granny Franny, anyone who needs any type of healing. Thank you.
That was a beautiful list. Thank you. And now we will go to the socials. Let me make sure I can see the socials real quick. Oh, hi, Barbara. I'm so sorry I didn't say hello earlier. I didn't look over here on... Barbara Kirsch is here. She's been active the whole... And Lori Bowers is here. Hi, Lori. So, first of all, hello to both of you. Thank you for coming. And we have Barbara Kirsch says she's sending healing energy to Rabbi Galit. Thank you. We are going to YouTube where there is no chat whatsoever. So we continue now with the Misha Berach. First, we will do the Rofeh HaOlim together at the bottom of the page right here at the white. We will speak in Hebrew together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch
Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim.
All of that healing energy, all of that wonderful healing power that we have mustered right now will reach the souls of everyone who needs it, those named and unnamed. Amen. Now we will sing Debbie's version of the Misha Berach. Misha Berach
Avoteinu
May the
source of strength,
blessed
bless the one before
us
us,
find
help
courage,
find the
make our
courage,
lives a
our
blessing.
blessing,
Let us
and let's say Amen. Imotenu Avraham
Bless those who need our healing with
Shlema, renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Good. It's good healing energy there. Let's keep going. The Aleinu, please rise in body or in spirit. Aleinu l'shachar l'adam.
Shakiraya.
Kol Gad Yosef
Malkin,
l'shit.
Kasei,
Lo asanu gibuye
Aminia
halachot.
Ratson,
Lo
Eko
samanu
Paranu,
mishpachot
Eko
neshama.
Amana,
Lo samanu
Allaham Melkin, Kahen,
kol
Eko
aleinu
Ramin,
kol
Eko Hamona,
Kori,
Kori, Nachtavi, Modi, Malkin, 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 Malkin,
Haya Adonai,
Hayom
Hayom
ha'u
yeh
Adonai echad Shemo echad.
Reach the mourner's cottage, where we remember those who have transitioned to the world beyond, to eternal rest. And though those dearest of souls may no longer be with us physically, their journeys have been ever imprinted on our hearts and our minds, even with the passage of time. Their memory, the memory of them, we cherish and hold precious. If you have anyone you are mourning or observing a yard site, please recall those you hold cherished and in dearest memory. I'll go around the Zoom. Let's stop the share for a second and ask those soup hours. Do you have anyone you would like to share for Mourner's Cottage tonight?
Thank you.
Okay. Granny Franny. Okay. Marvin Gruber.
Francis Johnson.
Thank you. Rabbi Sherry.
Avraham Shmuel ben Etta v'Yitzhak Itzchak Halevi.
Sharon Jaffe.
My grandmother, Ida Meyerowitz, her yard site is coming up. Pastor Bashir and David Reyna.
Thank you. Ellen Friedman, do you have anyone for the list?
Yes, Laura Frick, Alan Brown, and that'll be all.
Thank you. Let me see. In the chat, we have Sephora writes Ernestine Hines, Kevin Hines, Mary Hines, and Amos Idowu. Remember them. We continue on socials. See, and no one there. And we see here. Okay, I think it's. We can proceed now, sending all of those remembrances out to those we have loved. Here we go. Yikadal
V'Yikadash Shmei Rabbah
Alma
Alma
Divrach
Eichon v'Yomechon v'Yom Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olam Ne'omaya Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitbar v'Yishlomam v'Yitnaseh Yadar v'Taleh v'Talal Shmei D'Kudishah Purich Ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbachata v'Nachemata Ran v'Yalma v'Yibru Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'Chaim Aleinu v'Al Kol Yisrael v'Yibru Amen. Shalom b'mama. Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'Al Kol Yisrael v'Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel v'Yibru Amen.
Amen.
Daniel.
All souls are with you, O Sovereign. Teach us to live wisely and unselfishly, courageously and fruitfully, in truth and understanding, in love and in peace, so that our remembrance of them will be more than mere moments of regret, but rather a catalyst for inspired living. May the names of those whose memories we cherish be for us a blessing, and may we be worthy, so that those who come after us may likewise remember us for good, as we remember those who are unto us a blessing. Let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Reach the end of our service. Time to say Erev Tov. And funny, because this picture, if it were accurate, that's actually the east, so that would be Boker Tov. However, for me, this is Erev Tov. We can say Boker Tov actually to Reba and to Rabbi Sherry, who do the Maariv in the morning, because
and I have Erev Tov from my house in Hawaii right here. So
there you go. All kinds of Tov. All kinds of Tov. want to say thank you to everybody for coming this Friday. Well, tomorrow is Rabbi Galit's service at 4 p.m. And then this Friday, we will, all the Maariv rabbis, all of us are going to be installed officially as Sim Shalom Associate Rabbis, which is going to be super fun. I'm very excited about that. And I would like to see all of you there if you're able to come.
So I'll ask you, like I asked last night, will we get to throw marshmallows and candy in?
Yes.
Yes, what a great idea.
Did you send a note to Rabbi Steve, Phil Marie?
Yeah.
Not yet. I need to. I'm going to send one
I
to
don't
him.
think, yeah.
Well, this was great.
Toda Rabba, Rabbi Elias, Shavua Tov.
Toda rabah, Shavua tov.
I forgot, I'm looking at the chat here.
Bella.
Sarah wanted to send healing energy to all those suffering from PTSD, her friend David, and who is suffering from bladder cancer. So let's all for a second send healing energy to all those with PTSD and David with bladder cancer. And Ellen Friedman wrote Timothy Paul Taylor, Susan Arneso, and Diane Fitchman. Dorothy, Mark, Marianne, Jean, and Mary from Sue Bowers. And after that, all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. And yes. Oh, and yes, Rabbi Galit is on California time, just like me. If I said 4, that's why I said that. Anyway, good night, everybody. Erev Tov.
I love your kitty.
Thank you. So Bella was actually going for the claws during the Amidah. She was taking it seriously. She wanted to let the ancestors have it.
Mhm.
Good night, everyone.
It's to sleep now.
Bye-bye.